we're going to do Chapter 8, Section 1, similar polygons. This has to do with ratios and proportions. Writing scale factors using ratios. All right, first thing you need to know, corresponding angles are congruent. We should know what the word congruent means. Congruent also means equal. So they're going to be the same no matter how big or large the shape is. The angles are always going to be the same. Corresponding sides are proportional. Proportional does not mean equal. So please do not put the same measures for each. Proportional means it's similar. You're going to have some sort of scale factor. You're going to have some sort of change, but the change is going to be the same for all the sides. So similarities, similar. Looking at these two polygons, they are not congruent. They're similar. ABC is similar to MNOP. So this little squiggly line may look like a congruent symbol, but it doesn't have that equal sign. This is considered similar. Okay, which is also proportional, yes. So when I'm looking at this, we said your angles are congruent. So looking at these angles, if you want, because we did not put the squiggly sign on it, it's congruent. Okay, my angles are going to be congruent to each. So when I'm looking at it, I have congruent angles here. Same thing we did before with matching. When I'm matching them, I have A is congruent to M. Angle A is congruent to M. Angle B is congruent to N, which is correct. Angle C is congruent to O. And angle D is congruent to P. Okay, so looking at these, your angles are going to be congruent. Your sides are proportional. So I'm just going to write examples on here. Obviously, it's not given. Where am I getting these numbers from? I'm just giving you an example. I have 6, 8, 10, and 8. And then I have 3, 4, 5, and 4. Looking at them, just examining it, can someone tell me the scale factor? What's my scale factor? 2. Okay, so if you look at it, 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. So it's going up by 2. I'm going from my right shape to my left shape, and my scale factor is 2. So looking at these, they're giving you the statement of proportionality. So this is my statement of proportionality. And you have to know how to write one of these because you will get a question like that on your quiz. Okay, statement of proportionality is all of this right here. Why is it statement of proportionality? Because if we're looking at it, AB is proportion to MN. That's my first one. BC is proportion to NO. What is that one? CD is proportion to PO. And then we have AD is proportion to MP. Okay, that's my statement of proportionality, so you have to know what's proportional. How did we find our scale factor? You're using the statement of proportionality and plugging in what they're giving you. So looking at the first one, it's a lot of writing. You don't have to write all of them, but I'm hoping you at least write 2. I have AB over MN, and what's AB? 6 over 3, and that simplifies to 2 over 1. All right, looking at the next one, again, finding our scale factor. BC over NO is the same thing as writing 8 over 4. Again, look at it, they're different numbers. And this is still going to be 2 over 1. So it's proportion for each side. And then I have CD over OP is 10 over 5. And again, it's still 2 over 1. And the last one is actually the same as BC. AD over MP, 8 over 4, and it's 2 over 1. So when I'm looking at it, my scale factor is 2. Well, for this one, because we're going from the large one to the small one, it's going to be a half. So I'm going to write it as 1 over 2. Okay? If you're going from something large to small, you're going to get a fraction because you're cutting it in half or you're cutting it in a piece. Okay? You're making it smaller. If you're going from something small to large, it's going to be a whole number because you're making it larger. So just understand that. If you're going from something large to small, it's a fraction. If you're going from something small to large, it's a whole number. All right, looking at scale factor, how are we coming up with the scale factor if two polygons are similar? So again, we know similar does not mean they're equal. Their angles are going to be equal, but the sides are proportional. Okay, so this is an equilateral triangle. All my sides are all my angles and sides are congruent, so equiangular and equilateral. And they want us to find the scale factor. So the ratio of corresponding sides of two similar polygons. That's what it means. Okay, it's the ratio of the sides. I'm finding the ratio of the sides. So for this one, I want you guys to go from, we're just going to use it. We're going to go from your right shape to your left shape. All right, so what does that mean? I'm looking at my sides. The sides that I have are going to give me my scale factor. So looking at my sides, or you know what? Let's write our statement of proportionality first. Okay, so they're giving me a triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. All right, writing it as a proportionality statement. We're gonna do DE first, and then DE is proportional to AB, and then we have EF is proportional to BC. I want you guys to write it from the right image first on top and the left image on the bottom, just so we all get the same answer, because if we're switching them, they're going to be different. So looking at this one, we have DF and then AC. And then this one was BC and EF. All right, so now if I'm solving it, I have DE over AB. What's DE? 6 over what's AB? 3. Can I simplify this? Yes, my scale factor is going to be 2. All right, I also want you guys to know that there are 3 things that are the same that's also known as scale factor. Scale factor is also known as ratio of corresponding sides. Okay, so my scale factor is 2, and that's going from the small one to the large one. My scale factor is 2. I don't think so. These you could really identify. You really didn't have to do the work, but you do have to show me that you know what the statement of proportionality is and how you're getting it. So you're just plugging in the sides that they're giving you. All right, this question is going to take a while, so please add a page on Notability because you're not going to have enough space to write on there. So looking at this, A, they want us to find the scale factor. We are going to do A first. Find the scale factor of ABCD to MNOP. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going from something large to something small. Is my scale factor going to be a whole number or a fraction?
Fraction.
It's going to be a fraction. I need to find what that fraction is. So first, again, I told you guys, make an extra page of notability just so you have space. I'm going to do A first. First thing I'm going to find my statements of proportionality. I'm going to write them out. What is proportional? Remember, I want your right image on top of your left image. So writing it out, I'm going to have MN over AB. Remember, all your side lengths are proportional to each other, so I'm setting them up equal. Okay, so that's these sides. Now I'm going to have NO over BC. Then I'm going to have PO over DC. And last, I'm going to have MP over AD. Okay, writing was from left to right. So we found our statement of proportionality. Now I need to be able to find which sides can I use to find my scale factor. So first, I'm going to look at what they're giving me. Okay, so looking at the first one I did, I circled it in black and I also wrote it in black. I'm writing it as a sum of a ratio. I'm going to have y over 12 equals, can I use that as a scale factor? No, because they're not giving me any numbers. X over 4, can't use that as well, so I need to find something else. Z over 14, can't use that, so I'm going to find something else. 8 over 10, can I use that? Yes. Can I simplify 8 over 10?
Yes.
Yes. So my scale factor is 8 over 10, but I could simplify it to what? 2 over 5. Good. 2/5? No, I think it's not 2. It's 4 over 5. So my scale factor is 4 over 5. That's going to be the scale factor that I'm using to solve for everything, because everything is proportional using my scale factor. So I found the scale factor. That was A. A said find the scale factor. Now find X, Y, and Z. So we're going to go ahead and do B. So finding B, I'm going to use my scale factor, and this is when you're going to cross multiply. So using my scale factor, I have 4 over 5, or I'll write it in green because that's what we got. That was my answer for my scale factor. 4 over 5. That is equal to y over 12. I'm going to solve for y. How am I solving for y? Good. Cross multiply. 5y equals 4 times 12. 5y is going to equal 48. Divide both sides by 5. Y is 48 over 5. I'm going to change it to a mixed number. Changing it, you could change it to a mixed number or a decimal. So I have 9 and 3/5, which is the same thing as 9.6 units.
How did you choose y over 12?
Because I'm looking at what I wrote before. So I'm using my statement of proportionality with what I plugged in.
It has to be y over 12, or I can choose it?
It has to be y over 12 because it's the, what's the triangle? MNOP over ABCD. So it's proportional, so I'm setting them equal to each other. All right. So now I have to go ahead and find the next ones. I found my y. Let's go ahead and find x. So x, I had 4 over 5 is equal to, my x is x over 4. Cross multiply, divide. So 5x equals 4 times 4. 5x equals 16. divide by 5. X equals 16 over 5, which is 3 1/5, which is 3.2 units. Okay, so I found y, I found x, now I have to find z. 4 over 5 is equal to, what's z? Z over 14. Okay, and then I have 5z is equal to 4 times 14. Multiply. Divide both sides by 5. Z equals 56 over 5. 11 1/5. Or 11.2 units. All right, we did A and B. Now we have to go ahead and find C. Find the perimeter. This should be easy. How do you find perimeter? Add all the sides. Finding my perimeter. That is part C. Looking at it. All right, perimeter adding. So you have to add both of them. You're finding the perimeter for both shapes. Find the perimeter for each. 12. What was the other one? We had 14, 4. I'll write it this way. A, B, C, D. 12 plus 4 plus 14 plus 10. And then M, N, O, P. 8 plus 9 and 1/5, 3/5. Or you could add the decimals. They all have the same denominator, so I'm going to add the fractions. All right, adding them. If you added A, B, C, D, what did you get?
I don't even know how to add that.
Good. If you add M and O, P, what would you get? Add the whole numbers first. All right, adding these, you get 32. 3 things that are the same. For D, something you need to know. Scale factor. Ratio of side lengths. And ratio of perimeter are all the same. So what was my scale factor?
32.
4 over 5. So that's the same as my ratio of my side length. And that's the same ratio for my perimeter. All of these are going to be the same. If I didn't know what ratio of my perimeter was, if I couldn't figure it out, you're going to take the perimeters. The right one first, over the left one, and you're going to simplify these. If you simplify them correctly, using 8, you would get 4 over 5. So all of these, my scale factor is what I found. My ratio of my side lengths, I also found that because I did X, Y, and Z. And I found the ratio of my perimeter, which is 4 over 5. So all of these are going to be the same exact thing. Do not forget that. If I ask you on a test or quiz, what's the ratio of the side length? What's the ratio of the perimeter? It's still going to be 4 over 5.
So,
All of this for one
Yes.
question,
Mr. Chung,
Yes, Gabriel.
can you scroll up a little bit?
Yes.
though? Are we gonna have a
So
question
what
like
was
this
the
for the
point-
test?
Wait, more. What was the point of solving, more?
I had to solve for my scale factor in order to get my sides. I had to use my sides in order for me to get the perimeter. I had to get my perimeter in order to solve for the scale factor of the perimeter, the ratio of the perimeter. So you need all of this to answer the questions after, like, you need A to answer B, B to answer C.
Wait, sorry, is there gonna be a question on this on the test?
Yes.
We're gonna have to show all this
Yes.
for one question?
Are they always gonna be the same thing as the skill
We're
factor?
not doing it.
Yes.
We saw for the skill factor. Letter
I would
A.
just get that question.
Yes, but I'm just saying the question for D was asking for the ratio of the perimeter. But I wanted to show you that they're all the same.
Oh, okay.
All right, looking at the
Might take
next
that version
one.
of the next one.
Corresponding lengths and similar polygons. Looking at this question. If two polygons are similar, the ratio, okay, we kind of already went over this. The ratio of any two corresponding lengths is equal to the scale factor. Okay, so we basically said this in D. The ratio of any two corresponding lengths. The side lengths is the same with the scale factor, which is also the same as your ratio of the perimeter. Okay, all of those are going to be the same. That's all you need to know for this slide. This one's asking for the length of PS. Okay, they're giving you two triangles. I'm going to highlight them in two different colors so you know which ones I'm talking about. Okay, looking at this one, my blue triangle TRP. And then I have triangle XPZ. They're giving me a certain length. So I'm going to find the scale factor. Remember, scale factor is the same as finding the ratio for the side length. So I'm going to solve for my side lengths in order to find my scale factor. These are similar. I'm going to find my scale factor, then I'm going to use that scale factor and PY to find PS. So scale factor, that's what I'm going to find first. My scale factor, which is the same as my ratio of side lengths, my corresponding length. So looking at it, I'm going to take the length of, this is my red triangle, my right to my left. Okay, so X, it should actually be XZ, not XY. So XZ is what measure? From X to Z, how much units is that? 16. Now from TR, how many units is that? 12. Can I simplify this? What am I simplifying this to? What number can I simplify to? 4 over 3. I'm going to take my ratio, my scale factor, and use it to find PS. So I have 4 over 3 is equal to PY over PS. I'm going to plug it in. I still have my 4 over 3. PY is 20. PS is, I don't know, so I'm representing it as X. Cross multiply. I'm going to do 60 equals 4X. Divide by 4 on both sides.
15.
So PS equals 15. All right, this one is just saying exactly what we said before. Okay, it's just rephrasing it in a theorem. Okay, we already know if two polygons are similar, the ratio of their perimeters is the same of the side lengths. What is that also considered? There were 3 of them. Perimeters, side lengths is the same as what? Ratio side lengths is the same as what? Anybody? Scale factor. All right, area of similar polygons. This is the last 2 notes. We finished how to find a scale factor. We're going to go over how to find area. Please pay attention to area because it's similar to how we're finding scale factor. When you're finding area, all right, something you need to know about finding area is that there are similarities. A couple things you need to know. When you're finding area, you're still dealing with ratios. So you're finding a corresponding length. Okay, so it says if two polygons are similar, then the ratio of their area is equal to the squares of the ratio of their corresponding lengths. So you're going to take the length or the ratio of the corresponding length. We're finishing it. Okay, the corresponding side length. And you are squaring it. What's another name or what's the same measure as your corresponding side length? We covered three things. Perfect. So this is the same thing as your scale factor. Okay, and you're still squaring it. Keep in mind we're still dealing with ratios. So once you square it, it's going to equal your ratio. You still have a ratio of the area. Okay, ratio of the areas. So when you're looking at it, you have to have a ratio. You're going to have two ratios. Okay, so looking at these examples, you have your area is going to equal the ratio of your side lengths squared. Keep in mind it's the area of your red triangle over the area of the blue triangle. Okay, so you're still going to have ratios. You're not just going to square your corresponding length and done, that's an answer. That's not how it works. You still have to have ratios equal to each other. So looking at this example, they're giving you the area of GHJK. What we have to do is, what they're asking us to do, is to find the area of LM and P. LM and P and P. Okay, right now I'm representing as X because we don't know that. So that's what I'm trying to find. So I'm going to take my right shape over my left shape, and I'm going to go ahead and first find the corresponding side lengths. So they're giving us one set of corresponding side lengths, and I'm going to represent it using two different colors. This is going to be my red side. This is going to be my blue side. I'm going to have PN over KJ. And looking at it, PN is going to give me 21 over 7. Can I simplify this? Good. To 3, I'm going to keep it as a ratio over 1. So I found my scale factor. My scale factor, my ratio of my corresponding side lengths, it's the same thing. So looking at it, I'm going to take that 3 over 1, and I'm going to square it. And I'm setting it equal to the ratio of my areas. Which area are they giving me? The area of my red side or my blue side? They're giving me the area of my red side? No. They're giving me the area of my blue side. So I'm going to write it with my blues. So I'm going to have 84 over, do I know the area of my red side?
No.
X. Now I have to solve for that X. So what is 3 squared? Remember, it's not 3 times 2.
It's 9.
Good. It's 3 times 3. I'm going to get 9 over 1 equals X over 84. Now what do you think I should do? Good. Cross multiply. So I'm going to get 9 times 84 equals 1x. I'm just going to represent it as x. Someone asked me, are we going to get a calculator? No. How do you multiply 9 times 84? Just write it out. 84 times 9. 9 goes into 4 how many times? 36. 9 goes into 8 how many times? Okay, and then add 3. 75. So I just solved it. My answer is going to be 756 meters squared. Please don't forget your units. Equals X, and I found my answer. Please do not forget, your area has to be in a ratio. Any questions on this? Okay.